睇唔睇到嗰啲字啊？
睇到。
好啦，我哋讀一次啊。
哎呀，咩字？
快啲 ，OK， 開始。
Garbage, rubbish, shock, enough, free, man, free.
I am in the Prince Street garden, but you are not here. Sitting on the rosewood seat remind me of the one in my grandparents' house. Grandpa said they will survive for a good, long time. The bill was set in memory of the loss of love, a family member, a friend, a city we called home. To make private memories visible in the public, welcoming everyone in the city to take a seat there, to have their quick bites, or for the dogs to mark their territory. Private memories built around the city, multiplied, altered, interpreted. A personal story becomes the story of many. Perhaps it is always about visibility and utterance, about marking of territory.
For over 100 years, Hong Kong has imported and exported by sea. Day and night, the five-star ferry comes and goes between Kowloon and Hong Kong, providing cross-harbor transportation for communities tied to the tradition of trade by water. The geography of the Hong Kong colony consists basically of three areas: Hong Kong Island, the Kowloon Peninsula, and the New Territories. The communist border lies only 22 miles to the north. There, a lonely communist soldier stands guard all day. Beyond the green hills lies China.
細個嗰時，得兩個原因會過海，一係去中央圖書館溫書，一係去 British Council 學英文。16歲嗰年嘅冬天，爹哋媽咪特別忙，佢哋忙住想像我嘅未來。5個月之後，佢哋送咗我去美國。喺飛機起飛之前，佢哋已經幫我諗好6年之後我會返嚟做咩。而根據嗰份工，佢哋諗我喺邊度讀書，報咩科，讀咩學校，揀邊個 U 佢哋話浸完鹹水返嚟，我應該會唔同咗。不過我冇理佢哋。
从小我就很喜欢讲话，但是自从5岁那一年，我吃了一罐过期的凤梨罐头之后呢，我就没有再讲过话。妈的！因为这样子，所以我朋友很少，想找份工作做呢，也就变成很难。所以我最后决定，我要自己做老板。
30歲嗰年嘅夏天，好似特別熱咁。我望住個維多利亞港喺度諗，點解冇人喺度游水嘅？你話俾我知嗰陣時嗰啲英國人嚟到，佢哋就一條起嘅街就係皇后大道，但係嗰啲沙石佢哋冇地方等，所以就倒晒落個維多利亞港度。咁即係其實成個國際金融中心都係起喺沙石同埋垃圾上面。佢哋越填越出，地方好似越嚟越大，維多利亞港就越嚟越窄。我望住前面嗰堆黑色衫嘅人，突然之間我覺得啲陽光好刺眼，我啲眼淚不斷咁流出嚟。唔知係咪因為天氣太潮濕呢？由嗰日開始，我啲眼淚就冇停過。shit！ 呢個係1898年嘅時候啱啱戒嗰陣時啊，即係
但係呢個 reproduction 嚟嘅，即係重新再畫嘅。
哦 ，OK， 呢個係啱啱簽咗嗰陣時再畫過，即係
係咪唔可以鋪翻
唔知啊，我都要問下。你住喺呢度？你住喺呢度？
西環堅尼地城基本當就係。我住喺呢度咯，即係橙色嗰一忽。
係，我住喺呢度，即係已經填到唔適應啊！填咗出嚟個青衣。
西環我婆同我講係
喺呢度
冇人去。
呢度？咦？係咪呢度？呢度先？沙田？
唔係啊，沙田呢度咯，過咗。
我睇錯咗添，沙田喺度。
但係佢哋填咗海啊！
呢一忽啊，夾埋咗係咪啊？
呢度應該，因為呢一度嗰條
係啊，夾埋咗呢度。係即係我屋企係填出嚟，即係我琴日咪話趕晒新界佬走就係。
但係好唔同㗎，以前唔係。
不知道從什麼時候開始，在每一個東西上面都有一個日子。秋刀魚會過期，肉醬也會過期，連保鮮紙都會過期。我開始懷疑，在這個世界上還有什麼東西是不會過期的。阿叔啊，我先嚟見啱唔啱啊？
Unity and territorial integrity, taking account of the history of Hong Kong and its realities.
所以佢係 SAR。
好想喊，好 heavy 啊真係。
其實呢個真係好脆啊 ，appointed，已經 nominated by。
佢哋話咧19年定20年咁18年第一次修改基本法，顯咩嗰啲釋法。佢哋話中國話 中英聯合聲明已經完成咗佢嘅任務啦。18年係每一九嘅時候，
係50年，
係啦，就話已經完㗎呢份嘢，真係歷史文獻，真係呢個係歷史文獻。跟住英國就係佢話世有，即係以後嘅啫，呢一啲係佢。
因為佢冇講
中國嘅話，有啊，
佢冇講 forever 咯。但係你 resume，因為佢係講話
我想喊。
certainty 啊嘛。
係啊。
其實佢要點樣處理，字都冇人理。
同埋咧，原來有期限嘅嘢咧，
你有冇上落去啊？嚇，狗狗，有冇上？
哎呀，你好得意啊，豬豬！你好似開心啫，
係啊，
開心豬豬啊！哎呀，好得意！啷啷唔得啦，好開心啊！ We only found out his kidney was failing on the day I arrived. We took him to Victoria Park before he became too weak to stand on his own feet. Sometimes he gets more strength. With his bright eyes, he turned his head to follow our voices. Sometimes he could barely open his eyes. We know he's listening to us, and we are listening to his short and quick breath. 我哋專登講多啲佢鍾意嘅嘢俾佢聽。啷啷好叻喎，邊隻狗狗咁叻㗎？我喺度諗，當佢死咗嘅時候，呢啲説話會去咗邊呢？嗰日食完飯，我哋兩個 X 唔住喊到癲咗。媽媽話佢想返屋企喎。喺度諗，當我哋揀咗要自由，我哋揀咗重新開始。係啊，我哋好似多咗自由感。但係跟住呢？跟住點啊？原來去到生死嗰個 moment， 我可能唔係我自己想象中咁清高，咁嚮往自由。每朝起身我對眼都會好痛，但我已經唔記得咗點解，可能係因為天氣太乾燥啩。但係嗰痛嘅感覺時不時都會喺夢入邊再出現。我夢見我自己喺被入邊喊住咁講：我以後都唔會再離開香港。Summer this year is like winter. You will probably say it's climate change. There is a star engraved on this bench. It reminds me of the one engraved on the bench of the ferry.
心
Thank you.
Did you do this? This is low even for you.
What did he do, Jiffy?
He fucking knew. He knew the entire climate catastrophe 26 years ago.
What was that?
Do not pull that shit on me. You heard me.
She said you knew about the climate catastrophe.
Just that old argument again.
One day, I swear to God, I will finish you, Dad.
That's her mom's side showing. Always going on about the environment. Who cares? Oil has always been and will always be the future. Am I right?
Yeah, imagine racing with electric cars.
Hyundai! I thought more of you than this. Shit, I'm late. You have not heard the last of this, Dad.
Real bad timing for this story to break. I want Miss Green to see my best side tonight. I bet this will cloud the entire evening. Miss Green? That's Jiffy's bombshell of a mother. She just cares about polar bears and coral reefs. What of a profit, huh? You know we got a date tonight? Over the years, she's become harder to get, so I'll have to convince her with the green transition. Did you see this? Econ's oil pipes are in the news. The whole neighborhood is pissed and the police is running an investigation. We finally got him.
Wait, they can't trace it back to us, right?
Of course they can. How smart do you think you are?
Don't listen to him, Hyundai. No one will ever know.
Yeah, Shelley and Hyundai have been harassing Econ ever since he moved into the neighborhood a few years back. Don't know how Shelley convinced Hyundai to do it, but they're in it together now. I just don't understand how no one has caught them yet. I mean, they're far from professionals.
Shelley, this time he is taking it too far. I'm contacting the police. Blowing up my precious oil pipes, are we? I'll drown him in his own medicine.
Hey, Dexley. How are you?
Shelley, you have to come down here. They're revolting.
What? Who is?
All of them. They even got Kitty Cat on board. Treacherous little fucks.
Hold on a moment. What do they want?
Clean water. They're demanding it's a human right. They should be happy with their employee discount. I give them 50%. 50%? What more can they expect?
Listen, I can't help you. I have a date with Miss Green and need to prepare the cleanup act. Do you know anyone?
Does it look like I know someone? I don't know. Ask Apley or whoever. I got better things to do. Thanks for nothing.
Epley, he said. Good call, Nextley, good call.
What can I say? She is the best in town. She styled me good back when the whole child labor story broke. Nothing anyone thinks about now, is it? I could not ask for a better PR expert.
You're too kind, Apley. I just do my job, which I'm very good at.
Anyway, when Shelley called, I thought, why not? Always good to have some favors to pull later.
Right, everything off. Here. Hey you, kiddo. The old man does not seem to be able to undress himself. Help out.
Right. Shelley, she seems to know what she's doing.
You must be Chia, head of Epley's PR, marketing.
Yes, I really do not have all day.
Hyundai, nice to meet you, racing driver.
Cars, huh? I didn't know we were back in the 1900s, fossil dependency and all that shit. Yeah, that seems to fit. Good, then everything else will as well. Right. The rest will arrive tomorrow. Curtains, floors, the whole thing. By the weekend, this whole thing will be long forgotten. BTW, you will have to do something about that story that came out this morning. It is not a good look.
I'll figure it out.
I don't care what you do. Just a shame to throw away my work. Gotta go.
Damn.
What just happened?
You just missed. What was her name?
Calm down. She's called Shia. You would be a terrible match. You heard her opinion on cars.
I can go electric.
Do you realize where you live?
No one goes electric in this house.
But the change of clothes and all the talk of a green future.
I have a date tonight, Hyundai. Did you think all of this was for real? Well, maybe if you bought it, Miss Green could be convinced as well. Coy? Well, I had to kill his parents when he was a kid. Couldn't be helped. Felt bad for him, so took him in. Of course no one told him the truth.
Funny you would decide on change of clothes the same day as my test on corporate greenwashing. Did you plan this before you knew the climate story would come out, or after?
I will have a serious chat with your teachers. Brainwashing the youth to believe fake news. What has the world gone to? If I'm a good father, definitely. You should see the trust fund I have in her name. Massive. Not my fault that means zero tax. I'm calm, understanding. Yeah.
Shelley, over here, please. No need for ID. Know anything of breaking pipes over at your neighbor Econ's house? Of course you do. We know what you did the other night, but we need to hear you say it.
Excuse me, officers, but I know nothing of this. Econ, you said?
Hey, Chubby, know anything about this?
Fuck you. And of course he did it.
No need for things to get heated. As we said, we already know everything. You just have to deny for the record.
Wait, what?
You were letting him go?
Listen, we know everything that led up to this, and it's not our job to interfere with neighborhood disputes. Some will say it was one way, others another. We accept all sides of the story.
But you are the police. It's your job to figure the truth.
Fat and annoying, huh? You better shut up or I'll silence you myself. We just need to have a look around for the sake of protocol. Will that be a problem?
No, not at all. Help yourselves.
Who wants drugs? Just kidding, of course.
Bad timing, Pardew.
No need to hide it, we know. Just do your thing and don't mind us.
Sure. Shelley? Same as last week? Double dose of OxyContin?
Yeah, perfect. Been feeling great on it.
Happy to hear it, champ. Never let a customer, a patient down. Anyone else need something? And if that's all, I'll be on my way. Crypto, no trace, right, Shelley?
Right.
The Purdue guy? Of course it was me who gave Nextel the idea. Started out as a joke between us. Well, now he's hooked. If I took it too far, I did nothing he wouldn't have done. So no regrets. Seems like we're done here. Nothing out of the ordinary.
You are just gonna look the other way when someone sells drugs right in front of you? Not even mention it? You must be the worst officers I ever met.
Careful now, dear. My brother already warned you. He can become very unpleasant if you provoke him.
One last thing. I'm sure you know of that climate story that broke this morning. Is there anything you could possibly do to silence it? I'll pay whatever.
Consider it done.
Let's hope this works, huh?
Not waiting at the door. Have you lost your manners along with your drilling rights, Shelley?
Just opening the wine.
Organic, I hope? Where is Jiffy? She said she wanted to talk with me about something.
Jiffy? She's out with Hyundai. I'm sure it can wait. Wine?
Thanks. So, what's this new style about?
I wanted to be the first one to tell you. I'm going green.
And you want me to believe that? You might be able to fool some stupid journalists, but I know you. There is no chance you are serious about this.
And here I was, thinking you would see how sincere I am about it.
Don't be such a bore. You just have to prove it, which shouldn't be hard if you are serious.
You will see. Cheers.
Cheers, Shelley. I admit the green does look good on you. No way he is sincere about this. You heard about Koi's parents? Then you know how far he has gone before. I wish I knew what I see in him. Opposites attract, I guess. But that is all in the past now. In fact, I'm dating Amnesty. Now, we share a lot of values, you know?
And then, when the oil is fully phased out, there will be only green alternatives left. Wind, solar, and we will be right at the frontier.
It does sound like you have thought this through, I must say. Who would have guessed? Oilman #1 transitioning.
I told you, this is for real. Not just some green facade to improve public opinion. I'm serious.
So, will you sell your Jeep? I saw it still outside.
Actually, someone will come around and pick it up tomorrow. Of course I'm not selling that car. I love it more than Jiffy. Causes less troubles as well. But she's buying it. Thank God the officers could make the story disappear. That would have destroyed all my credibility. Hey there, miss.
Hey, mister.
He is unbelievable. On the couch? Gross! Well, Mom didn't stay for breakfast. She was way too upset with herself. I just don't get how she missed the climate scandal yesterday. It must have been all over the place. At least now she knows. I just hope she does not leave the country for another charity project. Ah, and there it is. Mozambique. Great.
developer Polycam has offered its app for free in Ukraine, mainly so that people can digitally capture their national identity in form of cultural objects and places before they get destroyed. The 3D scanning process converts single images into a visual meta-image. This technique is called photogrammetry, and in the context of warfare has already been used 100 years ago, at the beginning of the 20th century. During World War I, the German Wehrmacht was already stitching together aerial photographs of surveillance flights into so-called orthophotos to get a spatial overview of enemy positions. During the Second World War, it was mainly the Allies who sent reconnaissance planes over the attack zones directly after the mass bombings of German cities in order to evaluate the damage. Even today, these orthophotos help Germany to locate and defuse unexploded bombs from the Second World War that are still in the ground of German cities. Many of the individual images overlap and capture the same section from two different perspectives. With a stereoscope, it is possible to analyze the images in 3D. Modern, computer-based photogrammetry relies on more than two images of the same object to create a three-dimensional model. Especially for larger areas of land and objects such as buildings, drones are used for this purpose. The mass of drone footage coming out of Ukraine exceeds that from other war zones. The proliferation of commercial drones has led to the increasing use of imagery taken by both professionals and amateurs to show the scale of destruction in areas that have been under attack. By being published on various video and news platforms, the clips spread almost in real time and are thus available to people all over the world shortly after the footage has been recorded. Visually, the recordings are similar. Slow and constant filming of a building or a landscape from different angles. If a video shows an object from many different angles, a digital model of it can be created with the help of photogrammetry software. Since February, more and more of these models that use public videos as a basis have been uploaded to different 3D platforms. Most of them are destroyed objects, vehicles, buildings, or landscapes. Everyone with a computer and free photogrammetry software can participate in rendering available videos into three-dimensional environments, turning digital space making into a civic-led practice of preservation and creation. Unlike normal photos or videos, spatial records do not tie the viewer's perspective to that of the person who captured a scene with a camera. Instead, they allow for free navigation. This also reduces the disconnection between viewer and object inherent in two-dimensional images. In a journalistic context, that opens up new ways of narrating information. Some news platforms have already experimented with photogrammetry, creating settings that users can actively explore. It is a challenge to guide the reader experience, as the flow of information is not inherently linear. But it's also an opportunity to think about new ways that allow readers to have more influence on how they consume information and what that might mean for combining it with traditional news forms. With the help of geo-platforms like OpenStreetMap, Google Earth, or Bing Maps, the records can be spatially embedded and contextualized. In the process, the direct location of a place or scene is coupled with real coordinates, connecting digital point clouds to the physical world. This allows for a better geographic overview and reduces the abstraction that comes from being removed from the real-world context. In this hangar, the largest aircraft in the world, the AN-225, was destroyed by heavy fire. The quality of the model is so good that viewers can immerse themselves in the site as if they were there. For people who have been at the place, the model can be a helpful support to go back to the space of the event and recall it in as much detail as possible. It is also possible to analyze whether a statement could have taken place as claimed, for instance, whether a person had a clear field of fire at a particular spot. Of course, a 3D model should never be used as the sole evidence to support a statement, and even less so if the author is not a professional, trustworthy source. But in making a scenario tangible, it can be an important building block for a better understanding of past events, especially for people who have not been there. In open source investigation, 3D models have been helping for several years to spatially analyze events and make them comprehensible. Often these models were created from scratch on the computer, using architecture or 3D building software without incorporating photogrammetry into the process, which makes them less accurate and not suitable for an immersive experience. This makes open source photogrammetric models so exceptional. Almost anyone can participate in capturing a space of an event as a digital replica, enabling a sense of immersion that surpasses other forms of imaging. The immersive quality of spatial photographs can also be beneficial for individuals who have had a traumatic experience in a particular space, allowing them to travel back in time. Under professional guidance, they can address their trauma and reprocess it in a safe setting. Scientists in West Holland are researching on using semi-immersive environments in the treatment of post-traumatic stress disorder, so-called 3MDR therapy. Patients are confronted with events of the past, but retain power over how far they want to approach the trauma through a virtual environment. According to these experts, it would be very helpful if patients had the possibility to take a different perspective in order to perceive what happened from another point of view and to be able to re-evaluate the scenario. The environment can be animated, objects erased or added. Personal photographs, for instance, are valuable in creating a stronger emotional connection to the scenario. Other external stimuli help to focus the patient's attention on something different at the right moment, supporting the process of reflection. For more information, visit spatialarchiveofwarfare.com.
That coffee place, the greengrocer, the home of my friend, that bar we met in. Today I would like to lay down some facts. Something displaying itself as a black hole will swallow the city of Johannesburg. This is known as the Great Highveld Event. We will analyze this event from the present, as if it has already happened, but in the future. The future will become our vessel to understand our pasts and presents, as if it has already happened. Black holes are dead stars that have collapsed and have such strong gravity that not even light can escape. Unlike previously understood, we are now able to know that the constituents of the star leave an imprint on the black hole's gravitational field. We are now able to know what went in, and we receive information out. Somewhere in time, we are in the past, the present, and the future all at once. Black holes on Earth are possible here. Cities tending towards the dystopic are affected by cosmological phenomena, thus the Great Highveld Event. A black hole occupying an area of 335 square kilometers. What will have vanished into the black hole is not only physical aspects of the city, buildings, trees, old industry, new industry, but also those histories and informations tangled into what makes up the city of gold. I do not mean here to imply that the city of Johannesburg is a dead star. Her heart still beats, although her foundations are now empty. We pulled her insides out and laid them on the surface, the color, the sunsets, the sunrises with dust. We planted trees along her avenues. We hid the mine dumps away from our eyes. Now we dig at the insides on the outside again, trying to pull out what little is left. So do not think that I, as the prehistorian, believe the city of Johannesburg exists as a dead star. But I equate her to that of a dying star. I simply mean to say the city of Johannesburg will and has already been swallowed by a black hole. As the only prehistorian to exist in time, and this is Nika's video. I'm so sorry, everyone. Please, can I not have Nika's video? Leah! Sorry, please excuse me. Teething problems. Her show is really good. You should come and watch it. We'll take it from step one. Apologies. So sorry. Recently, I've had the fascination with a black hole. That black hole swallowed up the streets, the trees, the robots, the road, the house across from mine, the mall, that coffee place, the greengrocer, the home of my friend, that bar we met in. And we can go from where we left off. I do not mean to imply here that the city Johannesburg is a dead star. Her heart still beats, although her foundations are now empty. After we pulled her insides and laid them on the surface to color the sunsets and sunrises with dust, we planted trees along her avenues, we hid the mine dumps away from our eyes. Now we dig at the insides on the outside again, trying to pull out what little is left. So do not think that I, as the prehistorian, believe the city of Johannesburg exists as a dead star, but I equate her to that of a dying star. I simply mean to say the city of Johannesburg will and has already been swallowed by a black hole. As the only prehistorian to exist in time, I concern myself with that which has not happened yet, and phenomena that which exist across time, not that which has already happened, but that which will occur. I study the future as if it has already happened, history waiting to happen. Although I study the future like one might study history, it remains for the great part volatile. We only know something will happen, however not when or how this will affect us. And here I look to Johannesburg. Through Johannesburg, I also ask you to think of potentials for your own cities. To quote Stephen Hawking, if predictability of the universe breaks down with black holes, it could break down in other situations. Even worse, if information is lost, we can't be sure of our past history either. The history books and our memories could just be illusions. It is the past that tells us who we are. Without it, we lose our identity. If science and study are to understand that here we no longer speak about the truth of the universe through physics, but what might happen when a city becomes an illusion, contradicting all we understand about our identities, if our information building our histories were to possibly and only exist in the memories of human capital flight. Those who have come, those who have left, those who will arrive, existing as part of a large illusion in time and space, demanding for predictability and empirical measure, but thrust into the hands of those who were instructed to strip the ground of her rivers of gold. We are left with nothing but the question of why. Why what? We are in an age of seeing as believing. What we see helps us to confirm our illusion of the passing of time, helps us to predict our futures. We see into the ground and the city unfolds into the present. But what happens when what we see beneath us is no longer there? The tunnels and tunnels and tunnels and tunnels of deep-level gold mining has stripped the rock to build a city-wide identity, has disappeared and will disappear, not once again, but in the same breath between present and future. The city before the gold will also be gone, the unforgiving but strategically placed geographies, allowing not only the English and the Voortrekkers to use the hills for violence, but the Iron Age forges of the Basutus will quietly slip away too. What forges of history are to be rethought if it were already known that they would become an illusion? Our relationship as those objectively observing the state of the city to be pulled under. Places that uphold the strong constitution built with the bricks of oppression to protect those today and tomorrow. Each citizen of the place called Egoli will become part of the grains of sand dripping over the event horizon of this black hole. While the future of one place gets swallowed up into the earth, a question of the histories and memories hangs in the air above the black space. Whole entire promises of freedom, change, development, having only just become grown-up thoughts, however already rotting, will be swept into the pull of the great Highveld event. Where are the rainbow-colored promises now? Johannesburg, a home for many seeking futures, seeking change, seeking hope, not only for South Africans, but many who fall into the diasporic life within the city. When I see the name of that place, I see my name written on the page. Could I also throw myself into the gaping, swallowing, sucking, all-devouring space? What would happen if I stood on her edge and screamed into the dark? Not even my voice would escape her hungry darkness. So, like everyone here at this graduation show, I've spent a lot of time thinking about what to tell everyone. I went all the way back to my entire interest in what would become my thesis in the project. This is a film called The Data Thief. Well, the character called The Data Thief and The Last Angel of History. It's a documentary made by John Akomfra, and it traces Afrofuturist sound through time. I found urgency in the data thief's journey into the past, and the imaginations of the future, and what the present will look like from there. With this in my mind, I look to be able to critique how South Africans and the citizens of Johannesburg are living our presence, and what makes up the essence of our current existence. For this, I used science fictional narratives about South Africa by South African authors, and I called them South African futurisms. Now I'm asking you to join me on the edge of the city, which you will eventually see, or likely I'm asking you to join me from the tip of the city in an apartment in what used to be the tallest residential building in the Southern Hemisphere, Ponte Tower. In my previous presentations, I had asked my guests to join me from the top of the Melville Koppies, looking towards the city, but in this case we will stand within it, attempting to give you all glimpses of the place I was born and raised and where I imagine my future unrolling within. I found something that spreads deep into my subconscious, a place of expectation, but also a need for hope and a need to be able to imagine potential futures. Here, through science fictional metaphors and notions of futurity, I imagined a dystopia where nothing would be left but the grains of memory sand. Notions of futurity encourage us to interrupt the quantitative notions of time and intersect those predicted capitalist futures. This is ever so relevant when it comes to the state capture of South Africa, where the systemic political corruption of the government in favor of private interests has so skewed the future of those living within the city and in South Africa. In my thesis, as in the project, through reading and through imagination, I found uncomfortable critiques. In part, I think it's important for us to take responsibility for the critiques that we make and the imaginations we voice. The prehistorian, my character, does not take interest in the phenomena of the black hole per se and its unlikely event on Earth, but rather becomes entangled in the aspects of what will be lost and their abilities to get lost eventually if we no longer have them. The dystopia of South Africa and the state of her cities, the chronic skills brain drain, the constant violence and xenophobic and Afrophobic attacks, state capture and the complex waves of nationwide traumas threaten the future of South Africa and her cities, threaten them to a state of almost as good as swallowed by a black hole. I found a position where I thought I could be distant from the potential future I imagined. I found I needed, like in The Last Angel of History, to create a character for myself to look at this future, so thus the prehistorian. Distance allowed me to critique my attachment to the city, but also the opposite occurred. I discovered discomfort in the intentions of the prehistorian. The prehistorian made me more attached to the city, and the critique continued. Character, critique, distance, mourning, attachment, and round again. As a before last thought, to close my presentation here, I would like to come with 3 quotes. As said in the introduction to The Left Hand of Darkness by Ursula Le Guin, the future in science fiction is a metaphor. And Samuel R. Delany, speaking about his role as a science fiction author in The Last Angel of History, science fiction doesn't try to predict the future, but rather offers a significant distortion of the present. And finally, the boundary between science fiction and social reality is an optical illusion, said by Donna Haraway in the Cyborg Manifesto. Metaphors that help us to analyze the complex social realities which exist in the present while disguised as predictions for the future. I believe the prehistorian existed within me before I arrived at these quotes and the project itself. I did not mean for my presentation to become an emotional outpouring about distress for the future of a country whose present is so hopeless. As each person asks me what step is next, I can only say home, Johannesburg. For many this looks like a shot in the foot, but for some it is a step in the direction that could avoid a black hole opening up and swallowing the city. And to close, I invite you also to become part of my metaphor and to be specific in the questions you address towards your own cities and the futures of the cities you will live within. So I would like you to imagine wisely. And if you want to look at some very troubling images of Johannesburg in South Africa, there's a beautiful book at the stand on that side, which is a very contradictory view to what South Africans feel today. It's an ironic application of my thoughts. So if you'd like to go and do that, and there's an email address and Instagram and stuff if you want to ask questions. Thank you.
In the night before, it will be overcast with some clouds. During the day, continues to close in, and it remains overcast. Clouds will cover the sun all day. Temperatures are expected with a daily high up to 8 degrees Celsius. During the night on Thursday, a light breeze, 1 to 7 kilometers per hour. During the day, a light breeze, 7 to 12 kilometers per hour. Isolated gusts of up to 15 kilometers per hour will occur. The wind will be from southwest at night, from the west in the morning, and from the north in the afternoon. The weather forecast for Thursday is quite stable.
For a reading of the present as a bodily urgency, not of abstraction.
For a reading of science, alphabets, data, statistics, as an intrication with feelings.
For a reading against domination in neoliberal technologies of control.
For a reading of time, that is not a commodity.
For a reading of maps, hands, omens as embracing the archaic. For a reading of non-chronological temporality. For a reading of poetical confusion. For a reading of technical civilization of sensibilities.
For a reading against purified addiction.
For a reading of things as palimpsest.
Social-political significations through time. For a reading as complication.
For a reading of bodies as carriers and transporters.
For a reading of the present, not as agnostic inscriptions,
but as collaborative shapes.
I'm Oscar. I'm from Berlin, Germany. I'm Oscar. I'm from Berlin, Germany. I currently live in a tent for 4 weeks, and I couldn't find a long-term place to stay yet. Home is a certain type of intimacy, not just the place, but also the people that you live with.
My name's Tony.
My name is Greta. Oh, I'm Sam. Lisa.
My name is Franz.
I'm Daria.
And my name is Ivan. So what should I say about the housing problem? That we're basically homeless.
Also part of the housing crisis. I'm living in Maastricht, which is an hour train away, 20 euros each way. It's really expensive.
I live still in Rotterdam and I have to travel every day.
It definitely is a struggle. The trains stop running after 12. It's been really hard finding a place.
This is our third time moving. Every time we move to a different Airbnb, and it's super expensive.
I wrote messages to maybe like 40 different listings, and they all gave me the same answer. I wasn't chosen for a viewing.
Everything on Facebook and Common.net and every website I could find, and still didn't find anything.
How am I supposed to find a place if there's like so many other people doing the same? It's frustrating. I think a home for me is a place where I can contemplate on the things I went through each day.
Right now it's just a rooftop. Like loving people, when loving people surround you.
Just a bed, somewhere to sleep, somewhere to shower. But, you know, a home is really somewhere where you can come back to and feel safe.
My name is Rosalie Bramkoek. I'm from a small town near Eindhoven in the Netherlands. I stayed here for like 1 year. It's a bit too tiny for me. I feel the most home when I'm away because you've got so much less to lose.
My name is Ben. I'm half French, half English. Moved from the UK to Eindhoven in mid-August. Yeah, so there's a shed in the garden of the house that I've been staying in, but it's been used as a dumping ground for all manner of things. It's full of junk, but also the shed itself doesn't have a door, and it's not insulated. My home is where I have roots when it's comfort.
I know quite a few projects like that, so to speak, but it's not nearly as widespread as it should be.
Yeah, but if like you can get a little creative.
Flooding really is the answer.
There are plenty of places. There's building shortage of places to stay. They just don't want to rent it to students.
Help us! Please help us! Someone!
もしかしてあなたと今度ごできるとかできるかが照らすかもしれない。エリオハムリアリアルスマジックスペルオブダークネス。どちらの時今日がagain。私にスナンカしてる。
Osava liikna sale tutustumata kunniakalta tuli Sakura.
Like dark and white of power fights hard. She doesn't have the power to transform the head of the heart. I guess it's our turn to take the stage.
Yes.
Light and dark always together. Try transforming them together. We might be able to transform them.
Sí.
Yes.
Solo tu bastón puede cambiar las cartas de agua cartas de será acá. ¿Tú no crees que podamos hacerlo muchas horas?
Well then, please. And like everyone else, it could be a very long one. We can't let
No te preocupes.
Don't worry. Soy Lasha invented a situation.
対どうやって勝負だよ。やってみるわ。
おっしゃ。
Remember, I will be the voice of Chowder. Social might be to the help of this man.
Bai.
It's final.
Azkenean bukatu da.
This story could be about large infrastructure operations, wealth, and extraction.
In real life, it is quite clear that mining will be a great source of wealth in the future.
We have previously signed memorandums of understandings with others, but I really see this one is really taking it to the next level, especially because we really have the mutual interest of investments.
If you got one mice, you will attract other mice. So if we will have 5 operating mines in 24, you will attract even more mining projects, more investors, because then we are starting to really be a mining nation.
It's one of the few marks on the map that have white spots, not investigated yet.
de t'asseoir quelque part dans ta pièce?
Ok.
Genre, si je sois là, et que tu t'assois à ta...
Ouais, full, ça marche trop bien, là.
Ouais, mais moi, je suis... Là, t'es en moi, non, un peu?
T'es en quoi?
T'es pas un peu en moi?
Non, moi ça... Attends. Moi ça va.
Ah, attends, alors moi, je me décale. Hop, et là, je me recule un peu. Non, je m'avance. Voilà.
Ouais. Attends, je me mets un bras.
Attends, est-ce que tu peux te reculer un peu, toi, ou pas?
Ouais. Ah oui! C'est malade.
Coucou mon cœur.
Un petit thé, un petit café. Allô, comment ça va?
Je peux t'embrasser? Je crois qu'on est plus bien calé sur les images.
Ouais. Oh, je t'ai tellement choupie. Oh bah alors!
Là, je vois plus ta main. Là, je peux voir. Ah, ça peut te toucher.
Ah, tu m'as touché? Bah alors.
Oh, tu veux me donner la main?
Bah si, mais j'ai pas bu de bière ou de joint avant.
Quoi? Ah! Je peux te toucher ton genou comme ça. Ah non. Toucher ton genou.
Oh non.
Il faut qu'on se rapproche. Oh, waouh.
Oh. On est proche, là là.
Proche. Genre si je touche ton genou, comme ça.
Oh, une main sur mon genou. Bah voyons. Mais attends, il y a un film à voir là, Faut se concentrer sur le film.
Non.
Ouais, tu passes ta main derrière la tête et tout là, mais... Ah, c'est trop mignon. Penche ta tête. C'est comme si t'étais dans le creux de mon épaule.
J'aimerais tellement.
Petit bidou.
Oh, tu peux passer ton bras derrière moi?
Oui.
Oh. Je peux t'embrasser?
Oui. Tu veux me rouler une pelle?
Oui. Je vais trouver une grosse pelle. Je t'aime.
Et tout. Putain, c'est malade ce truc. Voilà, on a fait genre la fille dans l'écran puissance 1000 quoi. C'est malade en vrai. Très sympa. Mais tu sais, c'est... en fait, c'est genre... C'est très cool, mais c'est weird parce que du coup, t'es dans l'ordi et puis après, t'es là, t'es en mode, non, en fait, Emma est pas là, genre.
Exactement, c'est exactement ce que j'ai dit à Léa ce matin. Genre, le fait de pas avoir une présence physique fait que c'est vraiment bizarre.
Ouais, c'est... Ouais, c'est un peu weird, genre. Mais c'est très sympa. C'est très... Mais je pense que c'est un peu un truc qu'on a déjà fait par téléphone, c'est par... quand on s'appelle et tout. Et là, je pense encore puissance 1000, parce que comme on est vraiment, on se voit, puis on est proche et tout, quoi. Puis on se voit en entier sur des écrans, on se voit pas sur nos écrans avec lesquels on signe, tu vois.
Ouais.
Du coup, c'est ouf. Mais c'est vrai que c'est un peu bizarre, ouais. Parce que là, en plus, là, je m'imagine un peu à Champigny, tu vois.
Ouais.
Et quand je sais que je suis là, quoi, puis je suis genre, ah, yeah.
Je pense qu'effectivement, ça change un peu quand tu connais l'espace.
Ouais, je pense.
Parce que moi, je connais pas l'espace de ton appartement et du coup, ça me fait pas trop ça.
Ouais, ça fait pas trop ça, ouais. Bah, quand tu m'as dit, ouais, viens sur le sofa, j'étais en mode, ben oui.
J'arrive.
Ouais. Et voilà. Mais c'est bien, on fait... c'est très cool d'expérimenter ça, c'est très chouette. Un petit frisson de toi dans mon cou, là. Oh.
Quand tu passes ta main comme ça dans tes cheveux. Quand tu passes ta main dans tes cheveux, je fonds.
Et toi donc ah, j'ai des frissons, j'ai la petite vulve en feu.
C'est où? T'es en PLS?
Hein?
T'es en PLS?
Ouais, un peu. Puis je pense que genre PLS des émotions, la concentration sur l'ordi, et en même temps la réalité qui est là, c'est trop bizarre.
C'est bizarre parce que plus on discute et plus je me projette dans l'écran.
Ouais, exactement. Ouais, puis je pense que vraiment le fait de s'asseoir aussi, enfin c'est... Genre danser ça va, tu sais, on peut... genre ça marche là, mais je pense que le fait de se voir proche et côte à côte, je me dis wesh là...
T'es là?
Ah c'est un peu vertigineux cette mode. Ah non.
Ah bah non en fait. Genre si je me laisse tomber dans tes bras, je tombe.
Oh, ouais pareil.
Oh. Ah
oh.
Je te sens dans mon
trop
cou.
petit. Ouais. Petit doux.
Hi, hello, is this working? Hi everybody. My name is Leah. So this is my project that you just seen on screen. It's called Meet Me in the Middle. And basically what I've done is I've prototyped a new type of video call. It's all in open source. It's all also based on literacy and autonomy with technology. So I'm basically teaching people how to control and also create their own kind of media in order to communicate with each other. So this kind of was born out of the pandemic because most of us were talking online a lot. And the platform that we're using, because they're so directed by big tech, do not really allow us for having this kind of nice way of interacting, and also the way they're displaying information, displaying people, is not really helping for us to connect. And so today I'm showing you in live how it's done basically. So I have here Nika and I have Bea that are my helpers today. Thank you for coming. And so what they're going to do basically is they're going to try to do as Emma and her partner Marie did just now for us on screen. And so they're going to try to connect. They're going to try to be able to touch each other. Now what you see is 2 phones and 2 screens. And so you're able also to do this at home with only your computer and your phones. And so if we might have fun together, Bea, Nika, I will leave this to you. You can try first to maybe see where the environment of the other ends. So where do you fit in this? The people holding the phones, you really don't have to move. Nika and Bea are going to be able to move by themselves. They need to see where they can touch. Do you feel like you're touching, yeah?
Yes, I think now we're touching.
Yeah, we're touching. Nice. Do you feel like you should, you want music to dance? What do you want to do?
Please.
Yes,
yeah?
why not? Let's go for music. Okay, I'll let you do your thing. Just dance with each other. Whatever you want to do with. Try to make contact. Connect with each other.
I see the crystal raindrops fall, and the beauty of it all is when the sun comes shining to make those rainbows in my mind. When I think of you sometime, I want to spend some time with you.
Find where you sit. You can move. Be at ease. Yeah. Let's go. Amazing. Can you try to hold hands? Can you be closer? Nika, if you move in, I think you'll touch Bea much more. Do you want to go towards here? Yeah? Oh, now you're almost on top of each other. You could almost lap dance. Hug? Are you going in for a hug? Yeah. Let's go, Nika. Let's go. Get that heat.
We can do a bump somehow, no?
How
do we bump?
Where's your... I think she wants you to slap her butt, basically.
I think... Do I have to go... No, far away, no?
Yeah.
Why is Beatrice so high?
Esther, can you move the layers? Ah, that's good. Yeah, that's better, no?
We're on the same level.
Nice. Yeah.
Now
very good. Bea, do you want to bump? Try bumping with Nika. going into each other. Yeah, Bea, if you go a little less inside, so you go less towards the screen, you move back a little, and Nika, you go in. Maybe it'll be easier. So even further from the screen, further. Yeah, like this. And then Bea, you can come with me here, no? If I'm in, oh, hey, now I'm here with you, hello. Because if you're here, I feel like you could probably do this, you know? Yes. And Nika, you come closer to us. Yeah?
I like that kind of frame.
Yeah?
To be inside this frame.
Closer to us is like this. You do as much as you're comfortable with.
Yeah. Nika,
where are you?
I see you.
Ah! No, I can touch your hair.
I think I can touch your belly now.
My God. So what you see basically is Nika and Bea trying to connect. This is live input from 2 phones. Normally you do this on your computer, so normally you'd be able to do this with a partner, with a loved one, with a family member at home that you miss and you want to connect with, so you want to have a more embodied kind of experience with them. And so thank you both for trying this today. I really appreciate you. If everyone could try this, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Can you do just like a last high five? Try to do a high five. Yeah?
Wait, 1, 2, 3.
Almost. As you can see, it's a bit hard. You need to get your distance, and the more time you spend in it.
Now, yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, let's go.
Let's see it.
All right. And this wraps up the stage for today. Thank you so much. This is Meet Me in the Middle. If you want to do this at home, just go and take a flyer. I'll send you the protocol. You can do this with every loved one that you want. Thank you so much. Have a nice one.
Ciao, Nika.